So this is going to be a however many part video, but today's part is part 2. So let's get started. If you watch my Thursday night show, we started this album together and you guys were so complimentary. I really appreciate how kind you were about it. And you said you would like to see me finish the album. So to get us to the point we are right now, check out the Thursday night video to see what we did so far, as well as I went ahead and inked all these pages in between filming. I didn't want to have to ink all these pages while we were filming today. I want to be able to just keep moving. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just move on to the next step. And I'll make sure that we link the Thursday night video with the first part in the description below. Okay. I have been saying forever I wanted to show you this. Janine, who is the creator of 49 and Market, she did a class and I got to sit in on that class and she made a pocket out of one of these pages and I thought it was so cool. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, don't blink because it's super easy. All right, here's how it goes. So this page, this is one of the folded pages. Okay. What she did was she took this edge of the folded page and she folded it down to here. All right. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that edge and I want you to be able to see exactly how this works because it can get, there we go. We'll do it that way. So let me open that up again so you can see it's the full page and I'm going to fold it down like this. Okay. So you see what I'm doing and I'm going to line it up to the spine, but don't go over your score line because we don't want to create bulk here. And then we're going to press this down and you'll see what happens. I'm just going to press to get myself started and I'll open this up. Okay. And I'm going to crease this. I thought this was a neat way. Now, you might need more real estate. Okay. You might not want to close this pocket down, but since I added this flip page, I've got plenty of space to keep adding stuff. And I thought how cool to have a pocket in the spine like this. So to make it a pocket, here's what she did. She did that fancy fold and glued 2 sides. And that's what we're going to do. I think this is so neat. So I'm just going to glue down here at the bottom. And then up the side, just like this. And you could do sticky tape here to be safe, although we typically don't do sticky tape in a 2 or 3-sided pocket like this because it'll cause whatever we slide in and out to stick to the sides. You really do want to use a glue that will dry. But look how cool this is going to be. So let me open this up so I can get in there and press. And remember I told you I've noticed that our glitter glue really likes pressure. So give it some pressure, press it down. And now we've created this little flip pocket in here. And what I want to do is I want to use a punch up here. So this is a 1 1/4 punch, just a circle punch. And what I'm going to do, turn this sideways so I can see what I am doing. I'm going to slide this in and I'm going to make like a thumb tab up here. So I'm just going to eyeball center it. If you would like to measure it, let me show you because I know a lot of you guys like to measure. Let me show you. If you'll take your ruler and you can use the centering feature on your Tim Holtz. And so just lay this so that you have the same mark on either side. I got to get there. It always takes me a second. That's about it right there. And then make yourself a little center mark with a pen or a pencil. Let me scoot down a little bit so I can see it. There we go. Okay, so I got my pencil mark made. So that lets me know where the center is. So when I'm putting my punch over it, I can kind of float that in the middle just a little bit there. And that helps because it's kind of hard with the book and everything to kind of line at the center. And it probably won't be perfect, but it'll be close. It'll be close. But see how cool that is? I love that. Now, I don't want to do that to every page, but I think it'll be neat to have a little pocket here. So now when we look at the book, okay, we have a flat, like a center fold or a flat area here. This opens like this. This opens like this. This also opens here, and then we have this little pocket, and we'll just keep going. So who knows what we'll do over here. All right, let's do some page covering. Now, you guys remember I went through my autumn book from Mintay, and these scenes that are so gorgeous, I pulled one of each out, and that's what I've been using to cover the pages. I still don't want to use this one yet. I want to save that one, but I think this would look really good here because having this pocket kind of lay over, I think it's nice not to cover that with a scene. So I'm going to glue this one down. Now, I've not been inking my pages. I've been inking the book pages, but not my papers I'm putting down. That's up to you. The reason I haven't is I think they have have enough kind of color and texture on them that they really don't need to be inked. But if I get to a point where I think they do need to be inked, I will do that. But for here, we're just going to put these leaves down. I think they're so pretty. These pages inspired this album because they are stunning pages. And look how pretty that is. Like, it just feels like fall. Stick a photo on there and it is done. This page has a little bit of glue on it from the album. I'm just going to pick that off for a second. All right. And then I want to show you something else. I'm also going to mix in some of this. This is the Gingham Dots and Stripes from Echo Park. Love these colors with this book. And I'm also using the Autumn cardstock from AC Cardstock. I think these colors look beautiful as well. See all those pretty colors? So I'm just going to be mixing that up. I feel like right here with all this pattern and all this pattern, it would look good to add more pattern. I know, is that the opposite of what most people think, but I think it will look good. So I'm going to put some gingham here. I'm going to use brown. I think this brown is pretty, but let's do some measuring. So I'm going to measure this little page, and this guy is 4 inches. So that means I want to cut 3 3/4 by 6 to go here and on this side. And I'm also going to ink this area before I glue it down. Now I want this to go here, but as you can see, I need to do that same punch at the top. So I think what I'll do, I think I'll lay this on here like this, kind of center it just by looking at where the page is. And I'm going to punch that one to give me kind of a template. So I'm just going to use this as my guide. Again, you could just do the measuring we did earlier. That would work just fine. But I've got that like that. And now what I'm going to do is use this guy to help me punch the other one that goes on the back. You might be thinking, why would you use brown? I don't know. There's something about the dark colors that I'm really liking in this album. And I think when we get to the cut aparts, these browns are really going to make those really pop. I think I'm going to ink that a tiny bit more. That's a little bit pale. And I think, you know, when I did that punch, I lost some of that ink I had up there. So that's why I add a little bit more up there and glue this down. Now we'll make a tag to go inside here, but I'm going to do that later because I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. It gives me time to think on that one. All right, so I want to go back because I feel like this page is pretty undone. So before I move to the next one, I want to cover the pages underneath here. I'm going to do kind of a mix. I still don't know where I want to put this. I feel like this needs it's so beautiful. It needs so much more of a focus than there. I really think it might end up here because I just think that page is so pretty, right? That's perfect. I'm going to put that there. Then I think I'll just do gingham here and then inside of here and also inside of our flip. The reason for that is it's just going to be photo spots and ephemera spots. So I'm going to save some of my pattern paper for that and use my gingham. So I'm going to run through in this section really quick. I'm going to glue this one down and cover these pages with gingham, and we'll do this later together. All right, so what I've done is I covered this page. Look how pretty that is together. I just love it. And then I have this one, and we open this. We have that. And then when we open this, we have this section. And I decided to use every single color from that Echo Park gingham. The reason is there's tones of it in everything. You can see that kind of teal greeny color in here. And in here, there's some of the burgundy kind of in here. I just feel like it's going to work in the end. So we're going to go with that. Now, I haven't covered anything here because I had another idea. All right, so this is another page that is built into our book. You can see it's just built in. And I thought, what if we carried another pocket over here? Because when I put something in this and I have like ribbon sticking out or something, it'd be good to have another place to have some ribbon sticking out at the top. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that same process, but instead of using the center page, you know, before we folded this page up and made that pocket that was in here, I'm going to fold this one up and make a pocket on the end. So to do that, just going to bring this page over, bring it to your score mark. Don't cross your score mark because if you do, you'll get resistance and it won't close well. And I'm just going to press that down. And I'm not going to worry about, you could score it. It did wrinkle a little bit on the end, so you could put it in your scoreboard and score it. But I'm not stressed about it because this is kind of a rustic album and I'm inking everything anyway. So it'll go away. It'll be fine. All right, 2 sides of glue, just like we did the other pocket. I'm going to close this down. These pre-made albums, y'all, and sticking these pockets in makes it look like you're doing so much work, but it takes no time. And now with that autumn book, those pages that are pre-done, If I could just get a Christmas one like that, we need to tell Mintay, give us a Christmas one like that so we could do the same thing. That'd be beautiful. All right, so we need to punch the hole again at the top. Let's measure our center. Let's center our punch and make our little half area here. It's not quite half. We go a little less than half. I know I'm going to need to ink this guy, so we'll get that part done. What's cool about this inking, let's say you needed a red album or a blue album, or you couldn't get the color you wanted. If you have the white album, you could just use your ink to change the pages and it will look beautiful. All right, let's cover all these pages. Now, I do want to use another scene here. So let me pick a scene I haven't used. Okay, the scene I'm going to use is this leaf scene. I think, does it go this way? If it's fall, the leaves are falling, right? So it goes this way. The reason I'm going to use it on the inside, I'll be doubling it because I had used all my scenes. But the reason I am is because I used it back here. And look, I did do the leaves going up. Don't tell anybody. It's a Maymay album, right? It's supposed to be, something's got to be wrong in it. It has to be. So I'm going to glue this one down here, and then I'm going to use gingham around it. Something I think is important to point out, if you want to add more flaps and things, like if you want more flaps here and there or anything, go ahead and do that. I feel like I've got so much going on in this album as it is that I'm not going to add a whole lot of flaps because I feel like I got enough in there. But you can always do that. Just keep continuing to add. Okay, you guys, inside the gate, I had put this orange in here and it's good, but I think what I'm going to do is add some gingham to kind of make it all kind of blend together. So I'm going to add this brown in here, and then I'm going to add gingham to the side panels as well, and then we can figure out some more fun things to do. All right, remember on the side where I had this plain section and I wasn't sure what I was going to put there? I think I'm going to do this. I love this brown gingham. I think it feels very fall. I'm just going to glue this here, and we can always add more decorations to it later. So now I've got all the pages covered. I want to do my photo mats. I want to go ahead and place those so that I can do my ephemera pretty easy. And there's a couple of things we're going to do a little bit different with the photo mats. And we're going to fill this one with 4x6 photos. So let's get those made. For this part, I'm going to use the stamp set called Prompted Album. I love this one, and I'm going to try to use it even more to get some of these little sentiments. But right now, I want to use Place Photo here and 4x6, okay? And I went through the album, and I need 2 that are portrait, and then the rest can all be landscape. All right, so you want to pay attention to that before you start stamping because that will matter. So what I'm going to do is do my 2 portrait first because I will forget. So in my Misty, I'm going to take the stamp that says place photo here, and I'm going to put it about this area, and then I'm going to do the 4x6 beside it. Now, I've told you this before. If you'll use your pencil eraser, you can really slide these guys into place because they won't stick to your eraser like they will your fingers. So I'm going to place these where I want them. So I've got that placed where I want it, and now I'm just going to ink it up. And just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to use brown. We're going to use Pine Cone from Versifying Claire. And Shannon and I kind of went round and round, black or brown, black or brown. And we're like, you know what? It's a good place to use brown, and we don't get to do that often, so we're going to do it. So brown ink, and then I'm going to use my impressible here to press that down. Lift that up. Oh, I like the brown. I'm glad we went with it. What do you think? Looks good. All right, so that is one. Let me do the second one of those. Now I'm going to need to reset my stamp because the rest of these are going to go sideways. So I'm going to reset the stamp and then do all of the rest of them in brown. I think I need to do 6 of them. I may do a little extra. I typically do 1 or 2 extra in case I mess any up, so I don't have to come back to my stamping, since I have this already set up. So I'll get those done and we'll get right back together. Okay, so we got all these guys stamped. Now, Shannon has gone through and cut coordinating paper in size 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. And the reason for that is on our photo mats, we want the tiniest little bit of color to show. So you can see how I have this little bitty bit that'll show. You can do that bigger or smaller. I just think the album itself is so pretty. I don't want to really take away from the imagery, but I think this will be cool. So I'm going to run through here and I'm going to glue all of these guys down to one of the colors. And again, these came from that AC cardstock pack. That paper pack is perfect for this Mintay book. It's funny how all of your stuff can just work together like that. Okay, so remember how I told you I wanted to use two photos that were portrait? I'm going to turn this into a pocket. I think this will be cute to add a little pocket here on the end of this page. So I'm going to glue this down, but only on three sides, top, bottom, and one side, and leave this open as a pocket. So let me show you. Now you could, because this album's got the room for it, the spine is thick enough, you could even do this with foam tape and give this a pretty good size pocket, like lift it up off the page. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to show you what I am going to do. I'm going to put him down, and then I'm going to do my little pinch technique where I just pinch a little bit here to give it a little lift so it's easier to get things in and out. And you can see how I'm just kind of squeezing my two fingers here together. It's still gluing everything down, and you really can't tell we did that. But now I have a little kind of puff there so things can slide underneath. So I'm going to put that one there, and then I'm going to go back here to this page, and I'm going to put one here. I think that will be super cute. Here's a trick too. Put this down and put your hand where you don't need glue. All right. Because once you turn this over, it's just a brown piece of paper and you will forget. So if you do it that way, you're keeping yourself from putting glue in the wrong spot. Okay, so I have this one in, and then we have the one at the front end. I want to caution you about something. This is wanting to give a little bit for me, or kind of tear away a little bit, and it's because I put my bulk on this inside. I probably should have put it more out here to give that guy a break, but it will work. I did add a little glue to give it a little more stability, and so if you need to do that, think about that when you're putting your album together. I just want to give you that little tip. All right, let's go inside of here and let's add some photos. Look how cute these are. Shannon and I were like, that is so cute with that little bit of border around it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through and just place these in y'all know how I like to do this, right? Like I'm going to center this one, but then on this one, I'm going to move it up here, leaving me area to decorate. And I like to do this way. If you want to do every page individually, you go right ahead. But what I do here by putting the photo down, I kind of give myself where needs to be decorated. In other words, I'm not having to plan out every page. Really, I'm going to plan out where my photos go. And then when I come back with my ephemera, I've made myself the space for ephemera, and I can just pick what fits here well. I don't know if that makes sense, but for me, it's easier to kind of give myself the space than look at that whole page as a whole and kind of panic over where I'm going to put things. This way, I kind of make decisions for myself as I go. Okay, you guys, we have all the pages covered and we have our photo mats put in. So I'm going to give you a walkthrough. So you open like this, and this page is one of my absolute favorite pages. I just love it. We've got a pocket here. Remember, we built a pocket in. This one opens this way. This one goes like this. Isn't this going to be so pretty when we get all the ephemera in? Then let me slide this way so you can see what happens here. This one opens like so. Then we have a pocket that we're going to play with. Notice I didn't put photo mats here. I've got another plan for these pages. I just don't want to cover all that up with a photo mat. I just got another idea. Here's a pocket there. And then when we go here, we've got this little pocket on the end that we created. I love how we can do that with the pages that already exist. That's pretty cool. A photo in there. And then also when we open this up, a photo in here. Looking cute. I love how it's looking. So here's the deal. I want you to take a moment, and if you're playing along with me, get to this point, then we're going to come back and do our ephemera. I've got several ideas that I think it will take a little bit of time to show you. So I want to do that in the part 3. So maybe I can get this one done in 3 parts. That would be super cool. Thanks so much for wanting to see the rest of this. Again, if you watched our live show, you would have seen the first part. We'll be sure to link that for you below. If you're working on one of these, you know I want to see it. Head to our Facebook group called Maymay Made It, and so did I. Share your work over there, as well as on our customer gallery at MaymayMadeIt.com. Don't forget to give me a subscribe. I would love to have you as part of our Made It family. And if you'll set that notification bell, you'll get notified when part 3 goes up. Thanks so much for being here today. And until next time, bye now.